They are said to have touched Jesus during the pain and suffering of his final hours on earth. A chalice used at the Last Supper. The cloth given in kindness. Iron nails hammered through flesh. Fragments of a wooden cross. A crown of thorns. A roughly worked sign. The tip of a spear. Burial garments. For believers, objects of miraculous power. For the Catholic Church, touchstones of faith.
The Son of God died on the cross, so the instruments of his torture and death become the instruments of the salvation of the world.
Material remains of history's most infamous execution. Physical items chronicling the death of a Messiah. To the faithful, they are part of the mystery of Christ's passion on the cross.
This image is unexplainable today. It has been even more unexplainable 400 years ago, 1,000 years ago.
They are believed to possess power beyond description.
We do get a number of cases where relics were carried into battle as a kind of talisman to help you win a battle.
Some are believed to have caused miracles, others to have spawned disaster. Now, the relics of the Passion of Jesus Christ tell their stories. In Taxco, Mexico, the faithful bind their feet with chains, seeking closeness to their Savior by feeling the pain he endured. Believers drive nails into their flesh and are raised on rough wooden crosses. In the Philippines, the devoted carry cross-like weights jagged with thorns and flagellate themselves with spiked whips. In San Antonio, Texas, worshippers recreate the final moments of their Lord. In passion plays and pageants like these throughout the world, Christians try to understand the meaning of Jesus' life and death. But the devout seeking connection with Jesus need not suffer physical pain or shed their blood. Many think an answer is to be found at sites throughout the world where what they believe are genuine artifacts from his crucifixion 2,000 years ago still exist. The Abbey of Santa Croce, or Holy Cross, in Rome dates from the 4th century. It houses hundreds of relics, one of the largest collections in the world.
We saw people here who hadn't set foot in a church for 30, 35, 40 years, who melt into tears and recognize their disbelief in front of the Lord.
All of a sudden they find themselves in the chapel with these relics, and their faith does seem to come out.
For the devout, Santa Croce's relics are a gateway into the past, to the terrible Friday when Jesus was crucified. An iron nail said to have been hammered through Jesus' flesh, 4 inches long and a 1/4 inch wide at the top. It now rests in a protective case, its squared shaft tapered to a blunt point, specifically designed to inflict maximum pain.
So that it wouldn't cause a quick death, but a rather slow one. The Romans planned very carefully this kind of pain they wanted the prisoners to feel.
For centuries, the nail was displayed unprotected and in the open. Officials at Santa Croce claim that it has never been cleaned, and yet it has inexplicably defied the ravages of oxidation.
We are here from 1561, And ever since then, the fathers noted in our archives that never once signs of rust have appeared on this nail. I believe that there is something supernatural and divine.
Also at Santa Croce are these fragments of wood enclosed in a cross-shaped case and said to be from the cross on which Jesus was crucified. Each is 3 inches long and a ½ inch wide. Other churches also claim to have pieces of the cross. Indeed, more than 10,000 fragments populate various collections worldwide. But Santa Croce is home to one relic that the faithful can find only here. A walnut slab said to be the titulus crucis, the sign affixed to Jesus' cross to mock him as he suffered. 9½ inches long, 5½ inches wide, and 1 inch thick, inscribed with 3 lines written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Traces of the phrase, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews," are visible. Like all Santa Croce's wooden relics, the titulus has suffered significant decay over the centuries.
We discovered that they were constantly attacked by bacteria, termites, and all of these things that damage the wood itself. Talking to scientists and experts, they recommended that we monitor the relics for 1 year to understand their real condition.
In 2005, the Santa Croce officials took action. They closed the abbey to the public and cleaned the relics. Then, on the recommendation of scientific experts and with Vatican approval, they hermetically sealed them in glass.
Only once a year, a group of experts are allowed to open it to check on the condition of the relics. Otherwise, it has no reason to be opened, because the whole purpose of it is to prevent any kind of damage to the wood.
Di polvere o di qualsiasi tipo di attacco al legno.
How these relics came to Santa Croce is a story that seems no less miraculous than the objects themselves. It is said that from the time of Jesus' crucifixion, his followers had safeguarded the relics in Jerusalem. However, by the 3rd century AD, Rome was waging a brutal campaign of persecution against the early Christians. One of the many ways the empire tried to destroy their faith was to seize their relics. But Rome's legions faced resistance springing from deep-rooted faith.
The relics were always very important to the people who took care of them. They were willing to suffer death to protect them.
Christians smuggled relics out of the Holy Land under cover of darkness. The young religion and its relics were forced underground. But an extraordinary turn of events occurred in 312 AD when Rome's Emperor Constantine embraced Christianity. In his Edict of Milan a year later, Constantine ordered an end to the persecution of Christians. He also decreed that the relics of Mary, Jesus, and the apostles be found and brought to him in Rome, which he had rededicated as a Christian city. What happened next is described in 5th century documents that most scholars believe are a mixture of fact and fiction. According to those documents, Constantine entrusted this formidable task to his 80-year-old mother, Helena. Her voyage from Rome to Jerusalem spanned nearly 1,500 miles.
The Christians of Jerusalem at that time knew she was coming in advance because this pilgrimage was highly publicized, if you could say that, for its time.
The Jerusalem that awaited Helena was still recovering from the effects of Roman plunder and desecration. The previous emperor Hadrian had suppressed a revolt by the Jews, and in an effort to erase Jewish landmarks, he had also destroyed Christian holy sites. He had even built a temple to Venus at what was said to be the site of the crucifixion. It was to this spot that local Christians brought Helena after her arrival in Jerusalem.
And she went into this place where this temple